Go.
Yeah. So first thing in the morning out here at the entrance to Lee Harbour at the outpost, looking to get ourselves a little bit of live bait for a bit of a bloody bait and burley day at a little barrier. And thankfully Darren's been on song, got the very first bait in the tank there now, and a couple more pieces of cut bait onto the sabiki rig, a little bit of burley in the water to bring them around, and all going well, we'll have a nice day on the water. We managed to get a few live baits and we're now heading out to Little Barrier. Fairly nice day, around about 10 knots, or a little under 10 knots. About 9 o'clock in the morning with a 1 o'clock high tide. We'll hopefully get into some fish when the tide fills up, and then chase some things on the outgoing side. As we neared our spot at Little Barrier, we noticed some good looking sign and fairly shallow water here, showing 6 metres. Some nice snapper towards the bottom. We're fishing on the northwestern side of Little Barrier in the shelter of the wind, and just using the Lawrence HT7 to give us a better view of where we are, and also the bottom with the flick between on the screen. You see there's some nice sign on the left-hand side. We decided to stop for a little bit of soft bait at a little spot that we know, and cast Darren just flicked his soft bait out, which he landed on the surface, and it's been hit straight away in about 12 metres of water here, flat bottom, and nice and close to the shore off coast of Little Barrier. Fish is taking a little bit of line. It's no 20 pounder, but it's a good fight before we even had a chance to soak any baits in the water. See what comes up. Who's winning the fight, Darren? You getting much line back on him? We can see a bit leaving the spool.
The drag's not up that tight, but the fish is just there now, I can see it.
Still a little bit deep for the camera, I think. Yeah. See a little bit of colour. Nice fish. Autumn snapper fishing. The fish are pretty close, we think, at the moment. And this guy's taken a soft bait in the shallows, about 12 metres of water. Sorry, bro. Being on the camera, I'm making Darren do all the work here with the net. That's alright. And she goes. Lovely fish. Not a bad start today, there, Dad.
That's what we came for.
There we go. So that fish is going to be 3 or 4 kilos.
Yeah.
Roundabouts. And she swallowed the soft bait down good and proper there. Natural looking bait. Probably feeding on their cheeks than Alright, we came to a bait and burley spot, and Daz has had a pilly sitting out there for a couple of minutes, if that. And unfortunately we missed the first run, but this fish is just starting to kick his ass. There's a lot of weight on that line. It's a 15 kilo rod, and he hasn't got the lightest drag on. This fish is putting a fair bit of hurt on him. We're at anchor, and he's into the reef now, which is a real shame, but all going well. Put a bit of pressure back on, turn its head and get the fish back up again, and this is what we're here for. This is only sort of the second or third bait. We haven't put any live baits down yet. This is just a pilly, but the fish took off at a great rate of knots. We'll come back to Darren in a minute. Hopefully he's getting towards the end of the fight here. Darren's got the fish up near the surface. Another healthy fish in that sort of 3 to 4 kilo mark. Swallowed the bait right down. This one is going to go into the bin, I think. Nice fish, Daz. Bit of blood and guts there. Now we're doing well on the live baits, but Darren's got a pilchard here. He's going to show us how he does it with the circle hook.
This is how you reverse hook a pilchard. Lots of the point and barb exposed, and then so the eye of the hook on this side, take the line across the other side, and a couple of half inches. So that's what holds the really soft pilchard from falling off, because all the pressure from the cast goes through the bones and the tail, which is the hardest bit of the fish. And the hook is nicely placed just above the guts, so a snapper coming up like this, and we're going to pull it away like that, it'll hook it. Small quarter ounce sinker to help the bait sink in the current. And that's the rig.
And we'll see how that one goes. We're going to switch over to a semi-dead bait now. This is a live yellowtail that we picked up this morning back near the mainland, and it's got two hooks in there. You'll see the hook in the front. If we get a big fish that swallows it down, chances are we'll get him on that. But in the back here we've got a little recurve just neatly tucked out of the way, that if we get some hits and the fish munches up the bait, this is often the last bit left, and quite often you'll pick up a fish just on that little recurve in the back there. It's tucked out of the way for now. It doesn't get caught on the reef, so you're not exposing yourself to more snags. It gets quite a good return. This fish, we've hit him on the head, we've knocked him out, and he's just what we call a twitcher now, so we're just going to drift him back down the burley and see what happens. And all going well, we'll have a big snapper to show you in a minute. And Daz is in again. The live yellowtail doing the trick there. So it's got him a nice big bite, hopefully a slightly larger fish. That last fish we showed was about 5 kilos actually on the scales, so this one's not taking as much string, might not be quite as big a fish, but you'll be surprised how smaller fish will actually take a live bait, particularly if a big fish hits it first. The smaller fish will then pick up the scraps and run with them. So we missed the strike with Daz again. We'll see what this one turns out to be. A little bit of a fight. Second fish coming up here from the bait and burley trail. This one looks about 2.5 kilo maybe. And here's mine going off now. It's the strike. We'll just pop the camera down for a second and see what happens here. Unfortunately the fish has dropped the bait. When you're fishing with live baits, often you'll find that the fish will hit like that one did, and after a minute, oh nice.
Put this one back.
Yeah, put him back, nice work. After a minute of chewing on the bait after he struck it like that, we should get a second run, so we'll see what happens there. I don't see much from here at the moment, but Darren's been on this fish for about 5 minutes now, and as you can hear there, when it takes line it's got a lot of strength. Potential that it might be a very big snapper, maybe a kingfish. It's got itself hooked up in the weed. It's going to let the boat back on the anchor and see whether we can get some angle on it and get it up. Not making it easy on you, is he, Daz?
No.
So the gear we were fishing mono line, around 10 to 15 kilo line, 15 kilo rods, and good old fashioned bait runners. And 15 kilo mono is great for snapper amongst the reef, but we're into kingfish here, and fish like that, 15 kilo mono is not probably going to get up to the top of the ruler. See how this plays out. Okay, so yeah, hold it up. This is the aftermath of that fight. Kingfish looks to be about 12, 13, maybe 14 kilos. Hell of a fish. Often lost in these situations, but Darren's done a great job of getting into the boat, and that one will go in the bin as well. We'll take a moment and have a feed. Well done, Daz. Made our way back in from a little barrier in the shelter of the old man back at Lee now, and just want to have a little look at a few of the tricks we've got on board here. We've got the Lawrence HDS7 sounder, which is a pretty cool little toy for the boys. So you can see they're showing us a pretty foul looking sort of a bottom, and the GPS on the track on the left hand side there. Pretty cool little unit, particularly just the ability to be able to flick between sonar, full sonar for the bottom, and in the case of charts when you're running back in, we were just running back from Little Barrier, we wanted to see exactly where we were, being able to zoom right out, and full directional ability there. We have it on north up all the time, and you can see that line going straight up towards the top there. That's the direction we're heading at the moment. We've got a 10 mile line out there, so we can always see where we're heading. Pretty cool little piece of kit. Talk more about that one later. Over the other side here is the Garmin GMI 10, which is a little unit that we use to give us the information on the Honda outboard. Runs through the NMEA system, full digital interface. What's telling us there at the moment is that we're doing 1200 revs or thereabouts and a fuel flow of around 1.2 litres per hour, which is pretty low, but we're only doing about 3 knots at the moment. What we find interesting here though is when we flick through and have a look, other than having done the engine hours there, we're down to 25.6 litres from 40 litres we started out with this morning. So having done about 30 miles or about 50 kilometres, we've used around about 15 litres of fuel, 15 or 16 litres of fuel. So very, very economical with the Honda outboard, the 4-stroke, and obviously it is running in the background there, but very, very quiet as well. And having the interface here, full colour interface with the Garmin, just lets us know exactly what fuel we've got on board, how much is left, and when we're running, depending on what speed we're going at, it'll tell us exactly what our fuel consumption is throughout the day, and it does tell us that we've got 25.6 litres left. So nice little unit, and of course that's teed up with the Honda 60 down the back here. And I think sort of a rule of thumb with the old Hondas, starts first time every time, she doesn't miss a beat. We've had a couple of days where we've had it running now for nearly 8 hours straight, trolling and travelling out to the grounds, and fuel economy somewhere around about that sort of 8 litres per hour, sort of consistently across the board. And today we're working on about 8.2, and it was a little bit choppy out there today coming back, so pretty happy about all that. And the result for the day under here, got 1 or 2 fish in the bin. Darren's Kingfish, we lopped the head off it to let it fit in, plus we did keep a couple of extra snapper in there, one at about 4 kilo and 2.5 and a couple of small ones. So all in all, a pretty good day.